Hello, I'm Betty Cornett, and you have stayed right where you are because you knew that Seniors Today was on the air. It's 7 o'clock. It's that time, and we're so glad you joined us. Looky here. I've got Wanda Helms here again, and Miss Pat and Mr. Jim are celebrating their anniversary.
Yes, they
So
are.
we had to let her go.
Right.
We just had to. And
Yes.
Wanda's always good to step in here. And when we're together, and Charlotte's over there being the floor director, we're just like our three sisters. We're all together again.
That's
so
right.
we're glad you joined us, and we have a great guest tonight. Matt and Cindy Miklaws are here. They're all the way from Minnesota and have a wonderful book to share with you about the trials they've been through. You need to call somebody and tell them to listen up right now, because also Kathy Floyd, she's executive director of the Georgia Council on Aging. Oh my goodness, she is fantastic and has got so much passion to
Yes.
help we seniors. So we're going to listen up when she's here. Later on, we've got another guest that we'll introduce later. And Pat, I'm going to call you Pat all night.
That's okay. That's okay.
Wanda, who do we have as our music tonight?
We have the Dubbeld Family, and they are going to sing for us, Who is on the Lord's Side?
Amen. Let's enjoy.
all the praise and glory, for he gave his son on Calvary to die. Oh, and that same son gave his life on old Golgotha. Who is on the Lord's side tonight? Who is on the Lord's side among you? Who will help us join in the fight? Who is on the Lord's side among you? Who is on the side of the right? So tell me, who is on the Lord's side tonight?
Amen. I'm on the Lord's side. How about you?
Amen.
That's the side I want to be on. We want to welcome Matt and Cindy Miklaws. I had it good the first time, didn't I?
That's right.
Okay, you're all the way from Minnesota, so
That's correct.
That's a place most of us don't go to very often.
It's very nice right now.
It's nice now, but you're in God's country. You know that, don't you? Don't you feel it when you're down here with
That's
us?
right.
You're in God's country here. All right, we're going to say that over the last 7 years ago, you were diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia, which was followed by colorectal cancer and problems in your lungs. And you've got this book, Joy for the Journey, How to Walk Through Life's Trials in a Healthy Way. So tell us how that journey looked like to your family.
Well, it's been challenging on a lot of fronts. One of the things that I had years ago in a time of reflection, sensed God saying, Matt, this next season of your life, I really want you to steward it well. Little did I know that cancer was going to be part of that next season of my life.
Yeah.
But I just really decided I wanted to steward that well. Psalm 119:71, the psalmist writes, "It was good for me to be afflicted, so I might learn your ways." So that strikes me that affliction had a purpose in the psalmist's life, and that was to learn God's ways that potentially he might not have learned without the affliction.
Yes.
And so to me, part of walking through trials in a healthy way is we want to learn what God has for us in the midst of that journey, that those challenges that we have. And I committed on the front end of it to do it in an authentic way. I feel that's part of being healthy, is not trying to do it alone. That's an unhealthy thing to do. But to be authentic, especially when it came to my prayer life. Usually praying for other people, probably like you, a lot of times, but to be able to sit with God and begin to really say, I'm really afraid right now, God, or I'm really, this ticks me off. I'm really don't like what's going on. Pleading with him that I could see the day I walk my daughter down the aisle. God, please help me to be here for that. Those type prayers that, to be honest, were a real strong part, at least as far as me, for other people. So that became a really healthy thing for me, that I learned that prayer, when we get honest with God and authentic and just talk to him about what's really going on, it does something. It brings a peace, it brings a joy.
Right.
And some of the book, I talk about what that healthy way looks like, not trying to do it alone. But I have a bride with me who has been amazing. And as I began to write the book, I found myself referencing her often. Hey, honey, when did this happen? Was this before this or after this? And as I looked at other books on trials, some really, really good stuff out there, what I wasn't finding is a two voice. It was either one or the other. And it's not just my journey, it's ours. And this book is written in every other chapter format, so Cindy's able to kind of speak in the sense of context. Here's kind of what we went through, here's how she was feeling, here's how it affected our kids. Next chapter, I usually write about the lessons we've learned and some of those things, and so I'm really glad I invited Cindy into it.
I think maybe he was just expecting a timeline, a few pages of what was when, but when I started, it really became, quite the story, and remembering back to all the many different medical things they were and how they came, sometimes in crazy groupings, and just goofy times where, kids were playing basketball, but I had to run Matt to the hospital, but, take the rabbit to the 4-H thing, and lots of that, like every week it seems like that for us. And, as Matt was saying, we were just very honest about it, and my chapters are much different than Matt's. It's just the basic, what I was feeling when, and we're, two very different people, but very happily married.
Woman's point of view.
Correct.
The woman's
Yes.
point of view.
Correct. Yeah, there's things that Cindy wrote about that I didn't even know about.
That I thought he might take out.
Yeah, some of that. But it's personal. We're letting people get up close and personal, warts and all. And I think that's one of the great benefits. Hopefully that people will glean a lot to say, it's okay that I feel this way, and it's certainly okay that I talk to God about it. I also feel that hopefully our listeners, if they're going through a difficult time, will be able to grab a hold of this, and that is where we're not alone in this. Obviously, God has resourced us with his word, the intimate prayer we have with him. But our families have been sensational. We have an incredible church family, Elam Mission Church, and we're so grateful for them. And what a great resource they are for us as well. And our families, our friends, those are all sometimes the things we tend to forget when trials hit, but what a great blessing they are.
That's right. Go ahead.
So, Matt's actually written 2 books. He did one, A Normal Guy, When Your Normal is Extraordinary, which our daughter actually suggested him writing a book. And then we spoke to our church men's group about some of the health challenges and was encouraged by them to maybe write or speak more on that. And so Matt's where mostly Matt is looking to maybe meet that challenge, and God's kind of calling to look to speak to different groups. And we have a website, www.normalguy.com. I think I got through all that.
Yeah, mattnormalguy.com.
mattnormalguy.com. And there's a little video clip on there, which, just being a mom, I just, happy to, we have 4 great children, and it shows a little glimpse of our life and little glimpses of them and our lovely hobby farm, and just more of
Tells the story.
the story, of what we've been through.
Tell that about the 3 generations that you told.
Our son Benjamin has an artificial heart valve, and he's had 3 open heart surgeries. The second one, he was in Rochester with the heart surgery, and within 6 months, Matt's dad was having some aging and health problems and went into Rochester. And the family was all gathered, and Matt, having leukemia, has a lowered immune system, and so being in the hospital so much, he got an infection, was also put into the hospital. So in under 6 months' time, we had 3 generations of Micklaw's men all on the 5th floor, same floor of St. Mary's. And somehow, some of Matt's sisters, we just find crazy ways to even keep some fun times, even in the midst of that, which is part of what I share also.
Sometimes you laugh so you don't cry.
Yes.
But humor's good.
Exactly.
It's a gift. There's no doubt about that. So we've just are so blessed to have an opportunity to share, because the reality is, whether it be cancer or whatever our challenges would be, if we're gonna walk through them in a healthy way, all of it needs to orient around Jesus Christ, our Savior. Because if it's not honoring, if my cancer doesn't honor Him, I'm wasting it. Whatever that challenge would be. And so any opportunity we have to speak or share, I get really excited because I get to share about Christ and what He's done in my life, His grace, His mercy, His patience, for sure.
And you're here as a testimony that you were healed of cancer.
Well, still dealing with the leukemia on a daily basis.
Yeah, the
with
leukemia
lots
part
of
of it's, the
fatigue
leukemia.
and some bodily issues.
Yeah, so hopefully the colorectal cancer stays away and doesn't move around anymore. Leukemia right now is a really daily challenge and getting a little more difficult. And so I have to try to manage my energy in all this. But I'm the kind of guy, I want to go down guns blazing. I don't want to. I just want to keep living for Christ, keep proclaiming Christ until my last breath. And so God's given me a platform to do that. So I'd like to do that.
That's right. That you got to keep on keeping on.
Right.
You can't look back. You can't give up.
Right, and as Cindy mentioned, on mattnormalguy.com, if they want, they can find the books there. Also, some more information on speaking and just some other different things, hopefully that can encourage folks. And they can contact me as well through that.
Okay, we got 1 minute. If you kind of summarize what you want people to hear about the healthy way.
Yeah, don't try it alone. First, turn to Christ. I mean, without that hope of heaven, the trials here become really, really grim. It starts with that, and then orient your life around that. God's got a purpose for it, and He won't waste the affliction. He wants to use it. He wants first to draw each of us to Himself, and then use us as an example, as a trophy of His grace, as someone once said. And so that would be the main thing. And I hope our book really gives practical ways. I'm a practical guy, application-wise, to really help you walk through your trial, your challenge, whichever it would be. And so hopefully that was an encouragement to those who read it.
So the website is mattnormalguy.com.
That's correct.
And they can go there. They can see this book. They can also see the other book
That's
that
correct.
you've already written, and all the information, and you're available to speak. And
Correct.
You've traveled all the way from Minnesota here.
Yeah.
Shows that you still got energy and everything, and so just don't let anything stop you.
That's right.
And we wish God's blessings
Thank
on
you so
y'all's
much for
family.
having us.
God bless you and keep you, heal you, and protect you in your journey back home.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for coming and being with us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Yes.
All right, Wanda.
Okay, now we're going to have the Dubbeld family to sing "Oh Precious Jesus."
Oh, he is precious, isn't he, Matt?
Yes, he is.
He's precious. Amen. That's good singing by the Dubbeld family. They stop by and see us every time that they're around, and we really appreciate their good singing. Okay, I have got a dear lady right here. I've never had her on Seniors Today, but this will not be her last time. We're going to have her come on regularly because she is doing a wonderful work for us, and this is why. Kathy Floyd is Executive Director of the Georgia Council on Aging, and she represents the needs of older Georgians. I guess that's me. I don't think I'm older, but I guess I am. Kathy brings tremendous experience as an advocate and a wealth of knowledge about the aging network. She has deep concern for the needs of elders and their families and respected relationships with policymakers, that's the word, and legislators. She received her BA degree from the University of North Carolina, Master in Business and Finance at Georgia State, and she and her husband have one son who serves as legislative page. That's great, at Georgia State Capitol. Welcome, Kathy Floyd.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome.
God bless you, and thank you so much for taking out your valuable time.
Well, thank you.
And we're just going to let you talk about everything you do and why it's important, your work that you are doing. You take your time and tell it all that you can.
Well, I appreciate this opportunity, I really do. And the Council on Aging, we have a small staff, there are only 3 of us, but we're part of state government, and we do have a council, like a board of directors, that is 20 people, and they do a lot too. So it is really a group effort. But we advocate for and with older Georgians to really improve, and I can say our now because I'm 60, our quality of life in Georgia.
Yes.
So it is a rewarding work, but it does keep you busy for sure. So we're at the state capitol during the legislative session, which is January, February, March, sometimes into early April, and working with the legislators to fund programs that help seniors stay independent as long as possible, because of course that's what everybody wants.
Everybody wants that.
You want to be independent as long as you possibly can.
Exactly.
And that really is what a lot of our work revolves around, is keeping folks as independent as long as possible. And you know, it's not just the right thing to do, it saves taxpayer dollars.
Right.
Because if you look at what it costs to help keep somebody at home versus in a nursing home, and over 80% of nursing home beds are paid for with taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
So between Medicaid and then few little days on Medicare, so it is so much cheaper to keep people where they can stay at home as long as they can.
And the family needs to prepare for that, don't they?
Yes, definitely.
And if it's prepared, and you know that the older their family gets, their mother or dad or whatever, the older that they get, then they know that, they know that it's time for them to prepare financially and get all the information that they need so that they can do it.
Right.
And I see people all the time that are able to do that. They are doing it at home, and they're making it work. Not that they have to do everything themselves, but they've got it all organized. Someone comes in and things like that. So talk a little bit more about how do they find out?
Well, one of the best kept secrets in Georgia is something called the Aging and Disability Resource Connection. And it's ADRC, so Aging and Disability Resource Connection. And it really is information for folks that are seniors, but also folks that are living with a disability that are younger. So it is a phone number, it's a website, and there are counselors that can talk to people about what are the resources in your community if you can't stay at home any longer totally by yourself. So maybe it is home care that can come in. Maybe it's a meal. So maybe if you're living with your family but they work, the middle of the day, and you're not able to get the food, maybe it's a meal in the middle of the day.
Is that called Meals on Wheels
And
still?
that's Meals on Wheels,
Okay.
exactly. Or it may be home care, so it may be somebody coming in to help you during the day with some of the activities, like bathing or eating. Or it may be an adult daycare center where you can go for a few hours, 3 days a week.
Right.
And doing that takes some of the burden off of a family caregiver. There's a whole host of options that are available. We've been really excited about assistive technology, which I think is one of the really most exciting things that's going on in aging now.
Okay.
Are all of the devices that can help you in your home. So this is things in your kitchen that can help you. There is, and I think it's maybe less than $50, a automatic jar opener. You know, we struggle, and I've got the,
Wow, I need that now.
You know, I've got the little, the little scrubby things that
Yes,
help you, but
yes.
this is an automatic one. that
No
you put
matter
on
what size. the
any
jar.
size jar, it'll fit on top and take it off.
So where do we find that?
There are assistive technology labs around the state. All of the area agencies on aging have one, and we have 12 of those across the state. The one that's closest here is in Marietta.
That's
and you
for
can
the whole
call 'em.
Atlanta area.
But I think there is another one south,
You mean South Georgia?
south of Atlanta.
Oh, south of Atlanta, okay.
Yeah, because there are ones all across the state.
Mm-hmm.
And you can call and talk to them and find out about the devices, or you can go in and see the whole range
Mm-hmm.
of devices. So we're talking about the kitchen, we're talking about in the living room, we're talking about in the bathroom, all the different devices.
When we go on your website, the one that we haven't talked about it.
The www.gcoa.org, we do have
Okay.
a resource page that you can go to.
GCOA.org.
So Georgia Council on Aging, GCOA.
GCOA.org.
Yep.
And you could go there, and
see
I'm
the
going to check that out
resources.
tomorrow.
Yep.
And then it will have all what you're talking about.
Right. And these labs have really been put in place with some funding, but they didn't have any funding to actually stock the devices. So we were able, the council went to the legislature this session earlier this year and said, these labs need $7,500 to stock all of these devices, to be able to show people and also lend these out to people. Or sometimes it's as simple as selling it at wholesale versus retail.
Yes.
Can really help somebody.
Yes.
So we were able to get that funding. Not a big amount, $157,000, $7,500 for 21 sites around the state. But it is making such a difference to these places to be able to stock up on these devices, and people can see the things that could help them, stay at home. Another one I'm excited about is the spoon for people with Parkinson's.
Oh.
So if you're trying to feed yourself, this spoon, it can move like this and the spoon stays steady.
Oh, you don't mean it.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that
That
fantastic?
is right at $100. So you can imagine how much that could help somebody to be able to go back to feeding themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of this is about, maintaining your dignity,
Right.
And with your independence. So, that's important to all of us, for sure. So we were excited about that. But we were, with a lot of partners, able to get a little over $5 million at the legislature this session for a variety of aging programs. And that will not handle the demand, but it will, definitely
Help keep it going.
Help keep it going, for sure. We've got a little over 7,000 people on waiting list across the state
Really?
for the kind of services I was talking about. You know, every year, hundreds of those people can't wait any longer, and they go into a nursing home. So, you know, the more that we can help folks
Right.
with that, you know, the better it's going to be. For
And
sure.
it's like you said, it's better for the legislature to get more money in there
Right.
because when they go to the nursing home, like you said, that costs more money. It takes everything they have. They can't have anything really.
Yep.
When you go in there, they're going to take your whole Social Security check and
Right.
everything.
Right.
So if you stay at home, you're with your family and you're around your own surroundings. And
Right.
so the longer that you can stay there, I hope that families are listening tonight because you know, the older you get, the more you think about that.
Right,
And you talk to your children, and you should talk to your children and say,
Right.
I don't want to go in a nursing home.
Right,
I
right.
don't want to. I want to stay at home.
Right.
And you can call people to come in and help.
Yep,
You
yep,
know.
exactly.
And so I'm taking your time, and I don't mean to do that.
No,
3
no,
minutes,
that's perfect.
3 more minutes before a song. So if you'll go ahead.
Okay, and we also work on legislation, passing legislation, and every year, and we're in the time now where we're gathering ideas for next year. I had a call with my council committee this morning looking at the different ideas that have come in, and we take ideas from anybody as far as what should be addressed. And we'll put that to our membership in July, and the membership will decide what our priorities will be for next legislative session. And we always look at funding, but also legislation. And one of the things that we worked on was to get a study committee of legislators to look at senior housing options. Because if you think about, you can't stay at home, but chances are you don't need the skilled nursing in a nursing home. So what's in the middle? Well, there's really nice assisted living places that are options, but you've got to have, you know, some money to be able to do that.
To
You
get
really
assisted
do.
living.
You know, you may spend down pretty quickly when you go in.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
happened with my mother-in-law. And then if you're really poor, you can do the personal care homes, which are very basic.
Right.
They serve a great need. But there's not a lot of options in the middle for folks. And so we were able to get a resolution passed, and there will be a study committee to look at what are some other options and how can we encourage more development of some housing options for folks in the middle. And we're really excited about the possibilities. There may be some barriers that need to be taken out because this is kind of a new area. We're developing new ideas. So
You have to because the population is increasing for that age.
Right.
Our age is coming on up, and the population is there, and the need is great.
Right. So we had a resolution sponsored by a legislator from Valdosta, Representative John LaHood, and he's really excited about leading this group to look at some concrete things that we could take to the legislature next year to encourage more development in this area. And I tell you, I have to share, the group that's doing the best with providing in this area is the faith-based.
Yes. And that's what we've got to talk about to our people, is because we've got a lot of faith-based people and pastors that watch, and a lot of their prayer partners come, and that's why I want you to come back at least twice a year.
Okay.
And keep us abreast on what's going on so that we can share it with the people and let them know. And knowledge is power for our age.
Yep.
It's power. If we know what we've got to do, then we go. We're going to be back with you in just a minute. You don't go away. We're going to come right back. Wanda?
Okay, we have the Dubbeld Family singing There's a Way Back.
Amen.
There's a way answers you can't seem to find? Does the enemy surround you, tell you there's no way to win?
Because he tried so many times before, surely he won't let you in.
There's a way back to the Father's house, a way back to the fold. There's a way back to the warmth of His love coming out of the cold. But you're a long, long ways from home. There's a way back.
Now the Father stands there waiting, longing for you to come.
He's been waiting such a long time with eyes full of love. And He'll forgive your wandering if you'll come back one more time.
Because you're always sure to win in life when you have Him by your side.
There's a way back to the Father's house, a way back to the fold. There's a way back to the warmth of His love coming out of the cold. But you're a long, long ways from home. There's a way back, back to the Father's house, a way back to the fold. There's a way back to the warmth of His love coming out of the cold. But you're a long, long ways from home. There's a way back, back to the Father's house. But you're a long, long ways from home. There's a way back, back to the warmth of His love. You're a long, long ways from home. There's a way back.
Great song.
All right. We want to make sure that everyone has that website, gcoa.org.
Right, right.
We're talking about a lot of things that you need to know about. Now, I know some of you are watching, you're in your 70s, 80s, 90s, and you don't have a computer, you don't know how to work one or something, but there's somebody around you. If they're in school somewhere, if it's in elementary school, they just about can do anything you need them to do. And so get one of your grandchildren or one of your great-grandchildren to help you and say, go on that site and read to me what it says. And find out more, because this is important information. And so tell us how our viewers can help, or what can we do to help?
Sure. Well, we coordinate a coalition, and it is people all across Georgia. It is professionals working in aging. It is providers, a whole range of services, but it's a lot of seniors too. And we send out a newsletter once a month and once a week during the legislative session to tell you what's going on. Because, during the legislative session, all you hear about is the really big stuff.
Yes.
Gun stuff. And it's hard to find out, more what's going on for seniors. And that's what we put in our newsletter.
That's good.
And we have it by email, but we also have a hard copy that we send out of our newsletter.
And we can do that on that website.
Do that online. You can sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah. All right.
We also, there is a membership in the coalition, and there is a free membership. You get everything except the ability to vote. But the individual membership is $25.
Okay.
We have student membership at $15, and an organization gets 5 individual memberships for $100. So we have all of the major aging folks that are across the state, providers, interest groups, Alzheimer's, AARP, Nursing Home Association, Assisted Living Association, home care companies are all part of our coalition. And the legislators really appreciate that we bring, a united focus together when we come and talk to them at the legislature. So we also coordinate Senior Week at the Capitol every year, where we have, and a couple of years ago, we went over 700, and they made us cap it at 600. So we have 300 a day for 2 days, and we already know our dates, February 12th and 13th. So you just contact our office, and you can get in to reserve a place to come down to the Capitol. And what we do is connect you with your legislator so that you can tell them directly the things that are important for them. And that's part of our mission, is to really get more people involved in the whole process. So.
We talk about children that they have no voice, and someone needs to be their voice. You are our voice for the seniors.
The council really does, really does.
Because you're in that Capitol, that's where it all happens.
Right. A lot of decisions are made. I mean, people get excited, and people, there's a lot of stuff going on in Washington, but in Atlanta at the state capitol, there's a lot of things going on too, and a lot of things that that impact people.
Right.
I'll just share with you. I know a lot of people know how important Meals on Wheels is, and what a difference it can make. And it's not just the meal a lot of times.
Right.
It's maybe that person is the only person they see
that day.
You hear about people delivering meals, finding somebody that has fallen, and that's that can make a big difference. We were able to get, and the legislators were really helpful with this, and the governor's office, $1.4 million in new money to help bring down the waiting list for those Meals on Wheels across the state of Georgia. So a big, and we only were able to do that because people were saying out in the state how important it was, and that need was there for sure. We did get a little over 230 emails in to the governor's office, the new governor, before the session started, about the importance of these programs.
Right.
And that, I think, made a big difference.
Well, when you do something like that, you let us know. And on Seniors Today, we'll get people involved to send the emails, letters, or whatever.
Great.
And I hope that Seniors Today can be represented. I feel like Pat would, she'd like to go, and Wanda and me have already said we want to be there. So we are definitely going to get involved with what you're doing, because everybody needs to voice and help what you're doing.
Well, we had fun too. We had we were in the biggest space we could find, right there, down there at the Capitol, across the street, in the Sloppy Floyd building. We had the ballroom at the top, where we could have the 300 people and sit down and eat lunch. And, and then we tried something new. We had a photo booth.
Okay.
So, instead of the boas and the fancy hats, we had signs for them to hold, to send that picture to their legislator.
Wow, what
so
a great idea.
Say, we need more housing options. We need more elder abuse protections. We had the different messages, and they could pick them out and then hold them and get their picture taken.
That's great.
Gets the message across, doesn't it?
It really does.
We did, and the folks that we had, the seniors that we had, really loved that. It was the first year we done it, so we're going to do that again, for sure. So.
That's great. That's great. Well, I think we've got about maybe 1 minute if you want to just kind of give an overview of everything.
Sure. Well, the Council on Aging, our mission is to advocate with and for older Georgians. We have a council of volunteers that are work hard and are putting their time in, and it's just really important because I grew up honoring my grandmother, grandparents, great aunts.
Right.
And there's just, so much to be learned. We really want to involve all the people that we can.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, and we have enjoyed the information.
Thank you so much.
We welcome you back. Don't forget us, and we want to be involved with what you're doing, and we pray for you because you're doing a wonderful work for the seniors.
Thank you so much
God
for this
bless
opportunity.
you. God bless you. Okay, we have a break right now, and we'll be right back. No. All right. I tell you what, Wanda, I am so glad that we had Kathy Floyd here because I just told you that I'm putting you in charge. I'm going to tell Pat, putting you in charge of getting in touch with her and getting involved. And you do the same. You get to your church folks and tell them about that this Georgia Council on Aging. That's what you got to remember. It's Georgia Council on Aging.org. GCOA. Georgia, yes. So I'm really encouraged about that because there is someone who has already made an inroad into the legislature and already has a good program, lined up, and they are helping people and all the ideas. And, some of us may have ideas.
Right.
That we say, well, why can't you do this and so,
There's so much going on that we have no idea what all is available.
Exactly.
So
We don't.
we need to find out
So you're going to find out. You said you would.
it's my assignment.
That's
right.
your assignment. It may not be your last one, but it is your assignment.
Okay.
So,
well, too, when we were talking with her and talking about ways that people can get involved, you don't have to, the younger people can really get involved because there's internship opportunities for students, or, I was noticing in her information. So all ages can get
All
involved.
ages.
So,
and the young people need to get involved and see what is ahead for their grandparents
Right,
so that they'll
right.
know how better to help,
right.
Okay, well, the Dubbeld family is still with
yes,
us.
they're coming back. Dubbeld Family singing "When You're Broken."
Listen to this song, it's good.
What a delight it is for our family to be here with you all, sharing the good news of the gospel. Our family, the Mark Dubbeld family, is from Roanoke, Virginia. We have a song to sing, a word to write, and a call to answer. And about 8 years ago, we were on staff at a church that ran about 700 or so. God was blessing and helping, and he said, you know what, we want you to step out in faith. And so we stepped out in faith, and we've seen God do amazing things. Last year, we sang in about 40 different states, so God is blessing and helping. My wonderful wife, Janine, she writes a lot of the music that we do, and this next song that we're going to sing is a song that she wrote as well.
Mark and I have been married for 31 years, and Mark actually started singing gospel music when he was 15, and when I came along, I had to learn to play the piano or else. No, not really. But Mark and I have had a wonderful life together. We have 5 children. And our two older sons are married. One is a worship pastor. The other is starting a band of his own. Our only daughter, Elena, is 22, and she travels and sings with us, is called to travel and sing, and we're delighted that she's still singing soprano for the Mark Dubbeld family. Over here we have Channing. Channing is 17 years of age. He loves the Lord. He also loves music. He plays several instruments and sings, and we're glad that we get to still travel with Channing. This is Britton. Britton is the caboose of the family. He is 14, loves the Lord, loves his little dog, Max, and loves to travel and sing with the family as well. It truly is our privilege to share this time with you. And the next song that we are getting ready to sing, we want you to know the truth of the words of the song. Grace still wants you when we're broken. A few years ago, I was living in Florida, and I had a friend who had a gift. She could go into a Goodwill, a thrift store, sometimes even junk beside the road, you know. She could gather that up and make it into something beautiful. When she would go into those thrift stores, sometimes she found things of great value. I could go into the same place, come out with a whole bag of stuff that Mark called junk.
Amen.
He didn't think it had any value at all. But one day, Juliet found a vase, and she knew exactly where she wanted that vase in her home. She could see it in her mind's eye. We women are good at that. But you know what? Before she could get it there, something happened. She had 4 kids, I had 5, and I don't know how it happened, but the vase got broken. So you know what? Her husband said, get a bag and a broom and a dustpan, gather those up and throw them away. She said, no way. I know exactly where I want that vase to go. So she gathered them up and put them in a bag, but only to wait for a while. And she told me a few weeks later, Janine, I've gotten a special glue, and I am piecing that vase back together. She said, you will never even be able to know it was ever broken. And then she spoke the words that really hit home to me. She said, you know, as I have been taking time to put that vase together, God has been working in my heart. She said, he's been finding broken places,
Amen.
broken pieces that haven't healed correctly inside of me. And he's begun to pour in grace and healing in my own heart. Can I tell you that no matter where you are,
Amen.
God's grace wants you. He loves you. No matter what kind of pieces and brokenness you are bringing to him, he has the grace to meet your need. Because see, God doesn't want to throw you away. God loves you, and his grace still wants us, even when we're broken.
Surrounded on the ground before the master, condemnation stones within their heads. Panicked in the pureness of his prison, until she caught him riding in the sand. Grace still wants you when you're broken, tossed away by life's demands. Jesus' blood, the only token. Grace
Thank you so much, Dubbeld family. You've done a wonderful, wonderful job. We are sitting here and just, Wanda and I just talking about the prayer requests that are coming in. You know, I thank God that this station puts prayer at the top of the list. And we have that prayer partner center where you can call every night, every morning you can call and get someone to pray with you. And prayer is so important in this day and time, Wanda.
Yes, it is.
I've never known a day when prayer's been more important to me until when I get in my car, I start praying for protection in Atlanta. You better pray when you get in your car. And I do.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
I had a little fender bender the other day. Someone ran in the back of me. And, buddy, it really brought me, Wanda, to understand how important it is to pray. Didn't hurt me at all, you know. But you just never know.
Right.
You never know.
We need a hedge of protection, don't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. And people have called in, and these people really need help from the Lord. Salvation, and so many people with open heart surgery and cancer, everything that you can imagine people call in about. And so we want you to know that we're in prayer for you. But the most important prayer that I could pray tonight is the prayer of salvation. And I want you to give your heart and life to the Lord and call us on the prayer line and tell us, I want to be saved. That's the most important prayer. We'll be back. Thank you for watching TV 57 Seniors Today. Thank you for joining us, and Wanda and Betty, we are here. Pat is celebrating anniversary, and so we are here, and we have a great, great guest that is going to be talking to you. So it's Seniors Today, so we're talking about something so important for seniors, and that is the scams that are always, always going on in your area where you live. There's some going on right now. And so we want to make you more aware. We're going to show you the websites that you can call and all, but Mike Boynton's here. He's doing a great job in helping us to understand what's going on. But first of all, we've got a song by the Dubbeld Family. They are great singers, aren't they, Wanda?
Yes, they are. They're going to be singing Keep On Believing.
That's the name of what we need to know. Keep on believing.
in His promise, what's written for you. Keep on believing and praise your way through. Trust in His promise, what's written for you. Keep on believing and praise your way
Okay, Dubbeld Family, they have just been good friends of us here at the TV station, and they come by every once in a while to be with us. We are so delighted, Wanda, to have Mike Boynton, who is Vice President of Sales at the Better Business Bureau of Atlanta and also in Athens and Northeast Georgia. And so Mike was working for Delta Airlines for 35 years, and he got to travel a lot while he was doing that. But then he retired from there and then went right back to work at the Better Business Bureau. He's been there about 11 and a half years, and his team is focused on building the membership and is committed to the highest standards of marketplace ethics, which is a great thing to be doing. The focus on our program now tonight is, or today, whenever you're watching, the top senior scams. That's what we're going to talk about. And Mike and his wife Margaret reside in Tyrone, Georgia, and they have 3 children and 4 grandchildren. You have just begun to live, and we already talked about that. That is the best time of our life, isn't it?
It is wonderful to be in the Grandparents Club.
Right.
And, the
welcome.
pressure's off. Yeah.
Welcome to Seniors
Thank you.
Today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
This is your first time, isn't it? But
I have visited before, but it's been several years. But Betty and Wanda, it's great to be back with you and to share a little bit of information with with your viewers. I'm a senior myself, and I have a dad who is a senior. Actually, he's 99 next month.
Wonderful.
Active, alert, and pays attention to the tips that I give him about BBB.
Okay.
So we want to share some of that information this evening.
Yes, go right ahead. We're going to let you have all the time you need.
Well, first of all, just a little bit of education about BBB, and I think many of your viewers probably would recognize our organization, Better Business Bureau, or BBB. We've been around for over 100 years, 107 years to be exact.
Really?
So we've been providing programs and services to consumers and to businesses for a long time. We are a not-for-profit organization that does good work. Everything that we do, we try to do it with honesty, integrity, ethics, and that matters in today's world, even more so, I think. With all of the issues and what's going on in the marketplace, we are fortunate to have many good businesses that are in our local marketplace, and consumers can trust the businesses that they deal with. So that we're in a good local market situation. So we want to protect that and try to help educate, especially seniors who are, unfortunately, Betty and Wanda, as you probably know, seniors are quite often the victim of con artists and scams. So that concerns us, and that's a big part of our mission, is to try to educate those seniors so they won't be a victim of those scammers that are trying to take advantage of them and separate them from their money.
Right. That's the worst part.
But, you know, if you take a look at some of the characteristics of seniors who are taken advantage of, if you think about seniors, those who grew up in the 20s, 1920s, 1930s, and 40s, it's a different generation. You grew up, and it's a generation that is more trusting and is more open, and that certainly is also a generation, as we see, as baby boomers are going into that and increasing in number. There are a group that with financial means and financial resources, but they're typically a target for con artists and scammers. So if you take a look at some of those characteristics, viewers can ask themselves, do I fit this pattern? And this is what we have seen with people who have been scammed. Quite often, they are financially secure. They have assets. Scammers know that. They have the financial means. They have resources. So they sometimes, scammers feel like they're an easy touch because they are a good go-to source for easy money for some, unfortunately. We have, if you take a look at another characteristic we have seen and reported from some seniors who are unfortunately isolated. They may not have the family support or friend support to help them with financial matters, to help them protect their finances, who are not monitoring what they're doing financially.
And sometimes they don't trust their own family.
Well, that unfortunately that is true, and where you hear reports of that, and so there are certainly warning signs that all of us should be aware of, especially for seniors, to help them with that. But isolation is one. Some seniors have been they're contacted by a con artist quite often on the phone, and they try to connect with a senior, open them up, be their friend, and then try to develop a brief friendship to where they can take advantage of them financially. So that isolationist is a part of a characteristic of a senior that has fallen prey to a scammer. Money, I've already mentioned that. Financially, many seniors, they do have finances now, not all seniors, but you find quite often some seniors, they do have some financial security, and they want to help others, and they're trusting. And then when they're contacted by a scammer with a story or with a request, quite often they're believed. And they give a sad story, and their heart goes out to them, and they, out of good faith, they give them, they'll provide money to them. They'll give them a credit card. They'll send a wire transfer. They'll do those things. So that's another aspect to it. They have financial resources. We've already touched upon the issue about trust. Seniors, quite often, they trust. It's a generational thing, I believe, that you're more trusting.
You
want to
trust people.
You want to think the best of people. And so they're more trusting, so they will take a chance, or they will help. They want to help somebody else out. So that is one aspect. Another aspect is going to be a security issue, or they might be insecure if they get a call or contacted by somebody who is a scammer or a con artist. They might be maybe not as confident. They might be they're given a fast story. They're given a sob story. They're given some reason for them to make a financial take advantage of financially, and so they don't have the strength to say no on the thing. So that's another characteristic. Then I think I'll probably wrap it up is that as we see now, as you have seniors more and more with dementia, with they're not just mentally alert. Scam artists know that. They contact and they can target seniors. They may be hard of hearing. They don't have good memory, and as they deliver their scam message, the senior may not know exactly what they're committing to. Whatever promise it is, whatever they're giving their credit card for, they're disoriented. They're not sure about it. So those are some of the characteristics that we see of seniors who are taken advantage of, unfortunately.
And the families that have people that are at the beginning of dementia or walk through it with them, they really ought to take those cards somehow. They ought to get the cards away from them, and that's hard. That's like taking car keys away from a man 90 years old, like we had to be my daddy. You know, that's not a good thing to try to do.
That can be tough. I had a different experience with my 99-year-old dad. He saw the reason at 93, I believe. He had neuropathy. He knew that he wasn't mentally alert. He wasn't as quick with his reaction. He willingly gave up his keys.
Well, he didn't have any problem with his memory.
So that was a great example of recognizing what you need to do as a senior.
Yes.
But I think we, especially for those of us who have seniors as in our family, as our friends and neighbors, we need to take the time and take the opportunity to help them,
Right.
to look after them, to educate them,
Right.
about their protecting their identity, and protecting their financial resources, so we can help as a family.
Now, give us a website that we could go to. I know it's bbb.org, I guess.
That's it exactly. bbb.org.
They can go there, and you will have maybe some of this information you're sharing on there, and they could print it out and go to their neighbors that they know might be in that category, maybe that you're afraid that they might be at the point where they might not know exactly what's going on.
You know, Betty, bbb.org, our website, is a great go-to source for all consumers, but especially for consumers, because we do on the home page, right off the home page, we will highlight the top scams that are hitting this local market. So that is a great resource. All of our programs and services are free, complimentary to consumers at no cost.
That's good. That's good. So tell us now, the next few minutes now, tell us about some of the scams that are in our area, in the Atlanta area, you might say, in our listening audience.
Well, there's several, and let me lead with one that it doesn't go away, and probably it's appropriate for this program, the grandparent scam. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have.
Well, it's replayed time and again,
Yes.
and we constantly get reports of this. So, you know, typically it goes where the grandparent, the senior, is contacted typically over the phone, and the individual, the scam artist, the con artist tries to seek information from the grandparent, from the senior, trying to pose as their grandchild. Something with an introduction like, "Hey, this is your favorite grandchild," hoping they'll give you the name, and then they start to develop a trust or a bond, and then from that they quickly say, "Well, Grandma, I'm in big trouble. I'm out of the country. I'm going to be locked up. I'm in jail. I need a couple of $1,000s. I need your credit card, so for me to get out of this situation." So immediately, unfortunately, we get reports of the grandparent. They
Immediately
panic.
goes and get
They
their
panic.
credit card.
It's their grandchild.
Yeah.
They want to help them. So they give without hesitation. They help their grandchild by giving their money, and guess what? You know, it's a scam.
It's a scam, and
Their money is gone.
Right.
They give them their bank account. They wire money. So there's different ways that scam artists try to do this.
And then that grows into identity theft after they find
It
out
can be
that
identity
much.
theft, and that's another target where seniors, you know, to giving freely information over the phone about that. But you know, for this information, you know, to help you as a consumer, as a senior, to prevent this kind of fraud, know who you're. Question the caller.
Right.
You know, you may not. You gave the name, but that may not be them. Ask some personal information from them that only they would know, that the
they would
grandchild
know.
would
Password.
know. Exactly.
Like
Right. You could use a password
Yeah.
if you're. It could be something that only your grandparent would know. You know, but if you feel like this is not right, hang up the phone
And call
and
the
do not give money.
parents of that grandchild.
You could indeed. That is a good next step. Call the parents before you do anything. Call the parents. Call the number that you know and verify, is your grandchild out of country?
Right.
In all likelihood, no, they're not.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, they've been scammed.
They will do it before they investigate anything.
You know, for those, another scam that especially throughout the entire year, but especially in spring and summer, you've got many seniors that are still in their own homes. They're trying to take care of their homes, their yards. So we have had reports where con artists will go and they will hit neighborhoods typically more mature neighborhoods where seniors live, they might see that the particular house the grass needs cutting, the house needs repair. They would have to, so they have flyers printed up. They'll have a name, they'll have the services they provide. They knock on the door. They get the senior to answer politely, and they listen to them, and they're in the neighborhood, they're doing work, they've got a great price. Now, to schedule that, it has to be done today. They need half of the money now, or all of the money now. It needs to be cash, or write a check. They'll take a check or take a credit card, and they'll get that scheduled. They'll be back in 2 hours and take care of that issue on their house or their yard. Guess what?
They never come back.
They never come back. Or if they come back, they do a sloppy job or half a job and never show up again. So that's the door-to-door home repair scam. So that's what seniors need to be aware of, and all. Especially if you're still in your own home. So that is still being reported. Medicare, Medicaid fraud.
Oh my.
There are organizations out there posing to be representatives of the government or of Medicare, government programs, or health organizations. And you really don't know. You get that phone call, and you want to make sure that your coverage doesn't lapse. There's some problem with your coverage. Now, to protect that, to make sure that you don't have any problem at all, we just need you to verify that we have all of our records are up to date. They get your Social Security card, and you give it the card number, or they get your credit card number to make sure that they've got that. Now, this is being charged against this account, but you need to verify that credit card account that it's being charged against. You give that in good faith. So, again, you don't verify, you panic. You want to make sure that you don't, that you have coverage. You give that card and your money disappears.
You got 2 minutes, Mike.
You know, there's one of probably the lowest of the scams is probably going to be that many face this, a funeral scam.
Oh.
And in the newspaper or online, we post the death. We have an obituary. There's scammers that are trolling
Yeah.
the obituaries.
Yeah.
They call the widower or widower. They find that information, collect a little information, try to connect with them, and then identify that they're an associate who dealt business with the one who was just deceased. They owe them money, and they try to convince them that I'm sure you want to settle your debts and resolve that $2,000 loan that I gave to them. So preying upon somebody under a time of high stress, you know, that's hard to believe that people would do that, but unfortunately we do have reports of that. So those are some of the 3 probably most prevalent scams that are out there. But, you know, we want to urge consumers, all consumers and seniors, that, you know, if you feel like before you are the victim of a scam, make sure you know who you're dealing with. Make sure you know who that company is. Don't make a rash decision. Don't give credit card number.
Right.
Don't respond to threats. But you can
Never
check
pay
out.
the whole amount of anything.
Exactly right. Protect yourself. And if you want to check out a company that you can trust, that you can, before you make a financial commitment, go to the BBB website,
There you go.
bbb.org. Check out those BBB accredited businesses. They're committed to honesty, integrity, and respect.
That's right. Well, that is a lot of information, and I am so thankful that that's so easy to remember, bbb.org. And anyone can go there and find out more information. There's telephone numbers there that they can have. And Mike, I want to welcome you back anytime. And let's keep in touch, because this is ongoing. And I'm wanting our people to see and hear this, you know, because repetition is learning. And the more we understand about what's going on, and if you've got elderly people in your home, your mom and dad, please, please talk to them quickly and tell them don't even answer the phone, you know, just don't even answer the phone, because if anybody wants to get in touch with them, they'll get in touch with you, the children.
Right.
If they know that, them or not. But anyway, he's going to be back again in a few months, and we're going to have him come back and share with us some more. Thank you so much, so much.
Thank you,
okay, the Dubbeld family is here.
Yes, they are. They're going to sing "This Is What I Know."
We know more than we did know before you came.
Sometimes a circumstance will bring a consequence, and my faith will sense is running low. I will not compromise or stoop to criticize. I'll grip his hand and stand on what I know. My choice is Jesus, his word is true, and he has never failed. I'm living through. When human eyes can't see, he's working good for me, because I love him. This is what I know. I won't be questioning, for he is conquering as he is defining this world below. Since he first set the sun, his steady time has run, and he loves me. This is what I know. My choice is Jesus, his word is true, and he has never failed. I'm living through. When human eyes can't see, he's working good for me, because I love him. This is what I know. My choice is Jesus, his word is true, and he has never failed. I'm living through. When human eyes can't see, he's working good for me, because I love him. This is what I know. When human eyes can't see, he's working good for me, because I love him. This is what I know. Because I love him. This is what I know.
Thank you for watching Seniors Today, and we just received this important request from an employee here. They have a friend, his name's Neil. He's been just diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, and today is his 34th birthday. Lord, in the name of Jesus, we just ask that you go right there where Neil is right now. Comfort him, and Lord, give the answer, Lord. You are the one that can heal him, and we thank you for that.